Mhm. We share the screen. And so we started speaking about doing exercises and the language, yes, of exercise. And here you can see the list of some examples of physical activities that you can recommend to your patients to start doing. And they are in the middle of the slide, like light and strenuous walking, swimming, a brisk walk, visit a gym, cycling, getting off the bus 1 or 2 stops earlier. For example, if you work or if you go to university, running, and a lot of other things. And the question, what are the risks of doing them? I mean, you should, if as a doctor you recommend some physical activities to their patients who have some limitations because of their conditions, because of their diseases, they should be aware of the risks associated with these physical activities. What are the risks of doing these exercises? Hello? Dilara, what do you think?
Yes, actually.
You just take one of the examples of physical activities and just
do warm-up exercise first.
Do what?
Do warm-up exercise first.
One exercise first, yes? Or what?
Warm up. How can I say?
Yes. Do you mean that the person should start with a small step? Just
warm-up should be done before exercises.
Okay. Yes, and you give recommendation, but what are the risks of doing exercises? What can happen to a person if an experienced person starts doing, for example, like it's not here, but for example, if somebody starts doing powerlifting without knowing how to do this? So this person can break something, yeah? Break his just hand, for example.
For example, if she doesn't do warm-ups, she could get injured.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you're right. Tala, what can you add to this?
I will take the sentences which talking about the kitten of the bus 1 or 2 stop earlier. It will be it's affected. It will be very dangerous. It can be lead to death or serious injuries.
Why? Because of what?
Because the getting off of the bus, it will be so dangerous. It will be life or it can lead death or causes the disease.
So you mean that it can be dangerous because of the traffic, yes?
Yes.
Because of the traffic
walking
on the road, yes. And the person should be careful about this. Just the person should make sure that there is some pedestrian, there is some space for pedestrians, which this person can use. If there is no condition for walking, it can be dangerous. Yes, and Yosif, what would you like to say?
I will choose swimming, and the one of the biggest risks in if a person suffers from muscles tension due to stress, and then he will drown.
Yes, yes. So if yes, if this in this condition, the doctor shouldn't recommend swimming just to a person with such disorder. You are right. Yes. So that is why.
Actually, it has happened to me one time, but I was lucky because my father was there and he saved me.
Yes, yes. It happens. Yes, in the cold water. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I mean that this is why the doctor asks first about the conditions of a person, and then he summarizes and can give recommendations depending on what the patient can do and what is dangerous, what kind of activity is dangerous for the patient. Okay, now let's move to the next slide. And so we were speaking about patients, but here there is information about GPs. This is a kind of quotation from medical book, medical journal. So increasing stress is a feature of society as a whole, and GPs score twice the national average on stress test scores. GP, what does it mean GP here? Who are they, GPs? Who remembers what does this abbreviation stands for? GP, general practitioner, right? Doctor. It means that the doctor also experiences stress and the question, what do you think are the main causes of stress that faced by doctors in general practice? The main causes, why are the doctors stressed? Jeren, please. Can you answer this question? Jeren, hello, are you here?
Yes, I don't know.
You don't know. I see. Ezginur? Look.
Doctor, I don't know.
This is the easiest way. I mean, you are future doctors. Do you think your life will be just happy without any problems, without any stresses? Or what can cause stress in your work? Tala, please.
I think it's occur about the result of contentious permissions and negative talk people to you and begun influenced by a certain view of you.
So the cause of stress are people, the patients, right?
Right.
Can I answer, doctor?
Yes, please.
And doctor, he should know how to behave with the patient. It's important for the doctor to be calm and focused, so as not to overburden himself, and think in a proper way to find solutions to the situation.
Exactly. Yes. The doctors should take care of themselves, like to do something, not to work just too hard. Yes, I mean not just too hard, but to avoid stress. Yeah, and the causes are some heavy workload. It can cause stress. Maybe the pressure of responsibility for the patients, because the doctors have to make decisions about how to treat the patient, what kind of disease the patient have, how to treat this disease. So it's a lot of pressure. That is why the doctor experience stresses. And what are the main effects of stress on a doctor's clinical work, the general practice and home life? If we say that doctors are stressed, what can happen? Or is it just like a minor problem, like he's stressed, yes, okay, everyone is stressed. So, or does it affect his work seriously? Dilara, what can you say about this? Dilara?
Doctor, if doctor stressed, it can negatively affect the home,
Yes,
I think.
negatively. Sure, negatively. Like if the doctor is stressed, does not focus on what the patient says, the doctor can make mistake in diagnosis and can make mistakes in prescribing medications. So
And they may be more irritable
mhm.
or unhappy.
Yes, right, you are. Okay. And this is, yes.
Can I answer, doctor?
Yes, please, Yosif.
In advanced cases, it can negatively affect his physiological state, and he may lose confidence in himself and what he does because of this procedures and stress.
Yes, sure, you're right. Right. Yes, that is why it's very important for doctors to reduce their level of stress. And so actually, there is information here on this slide about the British Medical Association. This association offers a confidential stress counseling service for its members, for the doctors. The question: are there similar services in your own country? And your countries are.
We don't know actually
You don't know.
if there anyone. Yes.
I see. Actually, if I speak about Kazakhstan, I've never heard about such an organization that can help doctors with stress. I think it's the responsibility of the doctors to deal with stress, to think how to do, what to do to reduce the level of stress. But they should do something just to prevent the mistakes in their practice. Okay, and if we have a look, let's look at this slide. Yes, so these are this diagram shows some possible ways of dealing with stress, like meditation, when you get rid of all the negative thoughts and focus on something positive, setting goals. So because when a person has a lot of problems and he's afraid he doesn't know how to start solving the problems, it makes sense to just to solve them step by step from one problem to another, and to set some goals, and then just structure your life, and then the level of stress will decrease. You will get control of the situation. You'll get control of your life. Sometimes talking to a friend also helps with stress, especially for people who like communicating, just going out, and who have a lot of friends. And for example, for me, one of the best ways is like doing exercises, physical activity. This is the universal advice to exercise. So it really helps to deal with stress. Avoid caffeine, because caffeine just increases the level of the people just are worried, so they like it's not healthy anyways. Sleeping better, like longer hours, can also help in the stress if the person is stressed. And breathe deeply. For example, for me, it works when I need to fall asleep, but it's hard for me sometimes because I'm worried and I'm nervous. And when I start breathe deeply, I can easily fall asleep when just it helps in this situation. And of course, eating right food should help people to be healthy and to avoid stressful situations. And actually here, let's like move to this slide. Actually, if we speak about stress and dealing with stress, we mean that we need to be happy. And now I would like you to read the article, the passage that introduces the concept of happiness and some research on this idea, how happiness, how people understand what happiness is and how to achieve happiness. Let us read it, and if we have time, let's just think about what is the ideas that are given in this passage. So, Dilara, will you start reading, please, from this slide?
Yes. Why are you happy? Are you happy? It's a simple question. One that you can instinctively answer with an easy yes or no. However, for some obscure reason, the question, what is happiness, is more difficult to answer. So too is the question that follows, how do we achieve it?
Mhm. Well, here, let us look at the word instinctively. Instinctively means like following some reaction of your body, natural reaction, yes, like animals. In this context, this is like quickly, yes, naturally. And there is one more word, obscure, for some obscure reason. Obscure means not certain, not clear, vague, for some vague reason. So this question is more difficult to answer, okay? And the next part is for Bere. Bere, read it, please.
Well, definitely happiness is not quite as simple as it meeting Sam. Go into any mall this days and you will find my people shopping at the fronting page,
Pace.
believing,
Mhm.
believing that happiness uh, is the thriller of buying a new pair of shoes or the latest
High tech,
high
high tech.
tech device in date. The idea of happiness has been a topic of much thought and discussion between the flights of psychology,
Philosophy.
philosophy, religion, and science for the past 2,500 years. A flower uh,
Confucius. Confucius.
Confu- Confucius, the famous Chinese philosopher found aside that happiness is the joy obtains from learning about harmlessly toward social relationship and good deeds.
Okay, good. So here we've met the name of Confucius. As you see, this is that was a famous Chinese philosopher, Confucius. Have you heard about Confucius? Yosef,
Uh,
Yosef, do you know Confucius? No one. Mhm. I
No,
see.
doctor.
Mhm.
What is-
Yes. Who says yes? Somebody says yes. Okay. Mhm. I mean that, anyways, this is the last sentence on this in this part on this slide. So he says that happiness is when you take care of other people. Yes, when you meet other people and you do some good deeds. Deeds here is actions. So when you meet people and you do something for them, and you can be happy. But this is like his philosophical theory, yes? And let's have a look at the phrase frantic pace. Pace here has the meaning of speed. This is about going to the mall, to the shopping center, and just starting shopping at a frantic pace. It means frantic means wild, emotional, very fast. It means shopping in a fast speed. Yes, and this is thrill. Thrill is a kind of excitement. When you are excited, this is thrill, and you are excited because you buy shoes or device. So this is also some source of happiness. But Confucius imagined happiness, so like he thought about happiness in a different way, like doing something good for other people. And the next part of the text is for Esginur, please.
Yes. Why are you happy? Those good deeds, however, do not include going to the grocery store because your mother has told you to, or treating yourself to a steak at a restaurant after a hard day's work. In fact, a Buddhist would say that happiness is the reverse of consumerism because happiness consists of self-discipline and a life without longing. Another perspective comes from scientists who have demonstrated that 50% of happiness is a result of the genes we inherit from our parents rather than the genes we possess at the mall.
Mhm. In the last sentence, it's interesting. There are two words that sound the same. Genes, genes as a part of DNA, and jeans like trousers that people wear. They are absolutely different words, but the pronunciation is the same. Well, and the deeds that you can do for other people, it's not like just buying for your mother, but doing something opposite, not opposite, but doing something for the people. And there is also in the second sentence, Buddhist. A Buddhist would say that happiness is the reverse of consumerism. Who is Buddhist? Do you know Buddhism? Buddha? Have you heard about this? Yosef. Have you heard anything about Buddha?
Who?
Buddha and Buddhism? Buddhism is a popular religion in the South Asia and in India and some regions of India. Okay, and this religion.
Buddha religion?
Yes, yes, Buddha religion.
Yeah, I heard something about
Okay,
this.
good.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I see. And it says that happiness is a reverse of consumerism. Consumerism is the way of life when people only buy things to use them, and their goal is to buy as much as possible, and they buy new things, they get rid of old ones, and they consume a lot. This is consumerism. They spend money on shopping and just getting some new things, and they consume not only things but also some services, emotions, and so on. And Buddhism says that consumerism is the opposite of happiness. Happiness is on one just end of the scale, and consumerism is reverse, means opposite. Well, and in the last sentence, there is also interesting that what scientists say about the causes of happiness. They say that happiness is inherited. It means that you get the ability to be happy from your parents, like a result of the genes that we inherit from our parents. And so 50% of happiness depends on this. So very interesting idea. It means that you are born, people are born to be happy or unhappy. It depends on something that is given from their birth, and it's hard to change. Okay, and who's the next to read it? Is it Jiren? Jiren, continue, please.
So who is right, the shopper, the philosopher, the monk, or the scientist? Perhaps the answer lies in the fields of psychology, or more specifically positive psychology. In
Psychology.
1998, yes, okay. In 1998, Martin Seligman, a
Psychologist.
psychologist at the University of Pennsylvania, gave a speech at the American Psychological
Association.
Association, in which he said that rather than devoting attention to unhappiness, psychology needed to change direction and focus instead on people for whom everything was going bad.
Mhm. Okay, so who is right? Do we understand the meaning of word monk? Monk here. Monk is a religious person who represents some kind of religion, yes? And the question is about who should we listen to, a shopper, philosopher, or a religious person, or scientists? And it's interesting, just information about psychologist Martin Seligman. So before him, the main focus of psychological science was on some kind of psychological disorder. Like, for example, Sigmund Freud, he just studied, what did he study? Depression, he studied mania, and this is some kind of abnormal conditions of people. And Martin Seligman suggested to move the focus of science from negative just aspects to positive aspects. So to study, to research on what makes people happy, just to follow their examples. Okay, and the next piece of information is for Tala, please.
Okay. He said physiological has responsibly good understanding of depression, but they know almost nothing about the master self of happy life. He agreed that if physiological could oscillate what those were, and then people might be able to learn how much and how to make themselves or more justified with and cheerful about their lives. This was a part of beginning of positive physiology.
Psychology, yes, positive psychology. Yes, good. And the next is for Yosif.
Okay, doctor. Science then research on happiness has come up with some astonishing facts. If we go back to the mall, shopping can indeed be a source of happiness, but it is significantly least so once your basic needs have been met. The best kind of retail therapy is to shop for someone else. This is consistent with the Chinese teachings of 2,500 years ago that assert that happiness lies is acting within social networks rather than for our individual benefit only. Again, current research agrees in 2002 a university of Illinois study found that students with the highest levels of happiness and the fewest things of depressions were those with strong friendship and family networks.
Yes, so you see, so if people go shopping, it's better to shop for somebody else, not for themselves. Yeah, not, yes, just to be happy, to feel happy. And also just people who have a lot of friends and they have strong family relations, they are more happy than people who don't have this. Well, it's time to talk about the home assignment. Unfortunately, we haven't read it up to the end, so you'll do this. And so on this slide, you can see 6 questions. Please write the answers to these questions. Yes, I will create them. I will make the folder on the Moodle site today at night later. So, and you should answer these questions and write the answers on paper, then take the photo, take the picture, and upload this your paper in the PDF form to the Moodle site. This is one of the tasks. There are some also vocabulary tasks here. Okay, and yes, and there is one more task, just some exercise, a short exercise, which is already on the Moodle site. You should also just do like writing on paper and then taking picture and just uploading it to the Moodle site. So you'll get 2 grades for the home assignment. Is everything clear?
Yes, doctor. Can you tell us the last time for
The
assignments?
deadline.
Sorry? The deadline. So I guess you'll find the deadline on the Moodle site. Actually, I don't remember. It's like Friday for vocabulary exercise. But as for the So as for these questions to the text about happiness, I haven't created their folder on the Moodle site, but you may start doing this from their presentation, and then don't worry about the deadline, because I'll just put the information about the deadline on the site, on the Moodle site, and you'll see it. So even if you miss the deadline, just don't worry, because this is our first class, and so I shouldn't be very strict with the deadlines. And one more thing, I need to know, who is the group leader?
I haven't decided yet.
You haven't decided yet, because the group leader in group 6 was Ahmed, but he's in Almaty. Yes. And well, please, I mean that I need the person to communicate with, like, please choose their group leader, and please write to me by WhatsApp, okay?
Okay, doctor.
Okay, and well, if you do have any questions, please, you're welcome. I'll I will answer any of the questions if you have them. Ask me on Moodle, okay?